Welcome back, y'all. We are still in my kitchen, okay, but we are on session 2 of our devotionals this week. Yeah, 2. If you remember back to when we talked earlier in this week, it kind of left you at a point where you were like, Sam, this is terrible. You're not giving me any hope here, right? Because we were talking about what James has said in James 3, verses 3 through 5. He was talking about the power of our tongue and basically how our tongue is like a fire, a wildfire, that sets a fire to a forest and destroys it all. He made that same analogy with our tongue, saying that our tongue and the words that come out of our mouth have the power to corrupt and destroy your whole body. Ugh. Now, if you're like me, you can probably think back to one situation or multiple situations where your mouth and the words that came out of it got you into some trouble. Yeah, probably. Now, I left you with like, okay, that was kind of it. Now what, Sam? We need some help with that. Now think back also, because we did talk about this really cool dude, Dr. Emoto, right? This Japanese businessman turned scientist that explained and experimented with water. Right? He had 2 cups of water and he took different phrases, negative phrases, and he wrote it and spoke them over 1 glass of water, and then positive phrases that he wrote and spoke over the other glass of water. And he did this every single day for an extended period of time. Every morning, every evening, he'd get up and he'd speak those hateful things over 1 glass of water. And then to the other glass of water, he'd speak encouraging, he'd speak edifying things. And what he would do is he'd then take pictures of the crystals, or the lack thereof, in each water glass. And what he found out was that the glass of water that was being spoken to in a negative way and had the demeaning words written on it and spoken to it every single day, the water never formed crystals. And they were all distorted and crumpled and evil looking almost. But then the water that was spoken encouraging words and edifying words over it, you saw these immaculate, beautiful crystals that formed that were perfectly symmetrical. And what he came to the conclusion was, your words have power. And what's really interesting and how that applies to us is because James is saying the same thing. You know, he says your words have power. And when you think about this, which is even cool, how science and God kind of connect, your body, your living body, is made up of 80% water. So think about this experiment with Dr. Emoto and how that affects your body, your mind. If your body's made up of 80% water and you're listening to trash or you're saying trashy things out of your mouth, what do you think that's doing to your body and the makeup of your body and the things that you think about and that ruminate in your mind? Mind blown, right? Okay, and in the last video we talked about, I didn't really leave you with any hope because I wanted to give you a cliffhanger. All right, but the cool thing is James does give us hope. And in James 3:10, he says something very interesting. And it's probably, something that you guys have all heard. I know that you've heard it. Okay, but in James 3:10, he says, from the same mouth come both blessing and cursing. From your mouth, you get to choose whether you curse something or whether you bless something. It's your choice. And we've heard this biblical principle, you reap what you sow. So let me just put it plain and simple. You speak crappy things, you're gonna have crappy things show up in your life. You speak hurtful things in your life, you're gonna see hurtful things show up in your life. It seems like this super simple explanation, but it's just that simple. Just like the ship and just like the horse that we talked about, these huge, powerful things. I mean, when you look at a horse, you can see the muscle in it. You can see how muscular and how powerful that animal is. But it can be controlled by that small bit in its mouth. When you talk about a ship, a cargo ship, or a cruise ship, and everything that it holds and carries and the weight that it has, but it's controlled by one simple rudder. Your tongue and the words that come out of your mouth can do the same thing, and they have the power to either not allow you to live up to your full potential or turn you into something immaculate and what God created you to be and what God designed you to be. So as you're going out and as you're thinking about this throughout the rest of your week, think about the power of your words and what it could do to yourself, your life, and the world around you and the people around you. All right, love you guys. Thanks for joining me here in my home, and until next time, see ya.